minutes we'll talk about Olivia Kneffley because this is the 12th episode.
Oh, perfect.
So I figured that you would enjoy talking about her because you seem like
We're
you're
good
friends.
friends.
Yeah, exactly. Which brings us to episode 12. Welcome back to the Panther Soccer Podcast. Episode 12. This is Megan Bennington.
Hello.
Our very special guest for this week's episode. What do you have to say about Olivia Kneffley, star striker of the UNI soccer team?
Yeah, she's really starting off on a strong foot for sure. She's one of my good friends. She's funny. I'd say people think she's quiet, but if you actually get to know her and hang out with her, she's actually really funny. Comes out of her shell a little bit. But yeah, she's junior this year. I think she's gonna have a great season. She scored against Iowa State, so that was awesome. Good for us too.
That is fair. Yeah, it seems like you guys are off to a great start already. Well, by the time this goes up, there'll be 2 more games played, 3 more games played. Yeah. So that's kind of awkward, these far in advance episodes. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like from what we've seen so far, Olivia Kneffley has made a huge impact on the field. She's easily one of the most improved players since last fall, and just off to a great start. So I don't know if you've seen any of our episodes, but I feel like you should know why you're here.
Yeah.
So the game against Illinois State last year, you played all 90 minutes. Before the game even started, you made a very controversial decision in drinking 3 charged, what are they even called?
Charged up at Panera. Yep.
So what made you decide to even risk it there and just...
No, yeah, that's a good question. So we always go to Panera, usually on away trips, especially for pregame meals, and at that point we didn't actually know a starting lineup. So I was just having a good time, filling up on my caffeine for the day. Turns out we get there and someone was like, Megan, you're starting. I was like, okay, well, at least I'm charged up. But yeah, I had no idea, and it was hot. It was at night though too, but people were like, geez, she's on one right now. But turned out having a good game, we won. But yeah, I was definitely caffeinated a lot in that game.
Yeah, because I remember watching the game on TV, and I remember seeing the starting lineup. I'm like, okay, there's some unique changes, and I remember the first 5 minutes, you had if I remember correctly, you made a pretty risky pass, and I'm like, that was kind of weird. And then I'm like, the ball's in our end more often. I'm seeing your position. I'm like, you're a lot faster than I remember. Maybe it's the TV or something. And then as the game goes on, I'm like, we haven't subbed you out at all. Yeah. Which is, you're playing great. It makes sense, but I think you're a PSP player of the match that game. I don't remember.
I think it might have been that or something similar. But
either way, you probably deserved it looking back on it. Whether or not we chose you, because sometimes we choose people just to I don't know. Shoot, I'm going to say something controversial on the podcast. First few games, we always pick freshmen, and then middle of the season, we pick players that haven't been picked yet, or try to. We try to spread the love, but because if we chose the same players every game, Lauren Heinz, Caitlin Richards, Maddie Soleric would win it every time. Ashley Harrington,
for sure.
But so what was your body going through during that game? Having that much caffeine in your body?
Well, that, and I'm from Illinois, so my parents were there, a lot of people I knew were there. So I was really excited to be there. Especially I have a lot of friends on Illinois State just because I'm from there. So that was interesting just to see everyone, and I was just ready to go. Illinois State was, I want to say it was one of our first too. We played them in September, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we played them very early in our conference season.
Yeah, so I was just ready to go. But yeah, for sure, when it's that much caffeine and you're on that level, it's definitely almost like a numbness to your body, to be honest with you. But it felt good. It felt fresh, especially with the night game. I knew I was going to have to drink something before that. It started at 6 p.m., so.
Yeah, gotta drink something before so you don't fall asleep on the bench. Well, I guess you weren't on the bench at all 90 minutes, pulling a Maddie Soleric, never getting subbed off.
Oh, I know.
So, were you aware that you were potentially breaking an NCAA rule, though?
Well, I've heard the controversy with Ashley's podcast, but it's actually not. So the charged up, they're like 150 milligrams, I believe.
Yep.
The Celsius are 200. Usually we have that before, but I guess I could have been pushing it that day with 3. But yeah, Troy has talked to us about things like that. But he said, like, for that to be like a big issue, you'd have to like be drinking like 2 Celsiuses like at 4 a.m. if you were getting tested at like 6. So I don't really know how strict they are with that stuff. But yeah, it was kind of funny when I heard Ashley and you guys were talking about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be doing like 5-hour energies before like our beep test with like a Celsius, so.
Wait, oh gosh.
So I feel like this is like a step down. That was like almost a step down. So compared to what I've had before, I felt fine.
So going back to the Illinois State game, so after the game is something I heard about from multiple players. Basically, like Illinois State had like a pep band / student section, whatever it was, I don't even know. And they made signs and posters for like certain players on UNI's soccer team, and they weren't like, you know, trying to like taunt you guys or like criticize you guys. They were more like almost like trying to hit on you guys. Like,
yeah.
Were you aware of that situation?
I remember. I know, like, since you're playing, I wasn't really hearing it for like that one side when it's
yeah, the complete other side.
Yeah, but I know at halftime girls were talking about it, and I know, like, specifically, I remember them saying things about past teammate Sophie Meyer and then Lauren. I know they were playing forward at the time, so like they were pretty close to them. Yeah, I know, it was kind of a weird dynamic. We never really had an away game or home game, obviously, like that with a student section, like kind of like you said, like teasing those players, but like in a weird way.
Yeah.
So that was different. In like the 3 years that I've been at UNI at that point. Yeah, I've never seen something like that, so that was weird.
Yeah.
And kind of out of nowhere, because we played at Illinois State before, and I don't remember that happening like my freshman year, so.
Well, your freshman year was COVID, so was it different?
We played in the spring.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
We still went to normal, but I just don't remember like that whole dynamic being there.
That's fair.
It was weird though, for sure.
Yeah, because like, and then after the game, we ended up hearing about it, like how that's actually not that uncommon. Yeah, there's another school that comes to mind. Sometime in October, when Spencer and I went to an away game where the student section was hitting on Brittany, the goalkeeper.
Yep.
And they're like looking at her Instagram and being like, "Hey, I can't remember, Sam."
Oh yeah, her boyfriend.
Who's Sam? And like, it's just examples of that, just almost like demeaning to like being an athlete.
I would say yeah, and like especially like, you know, this stuff doesn't happen at like men's games either, so it's obviously just the women's games, and like when you're bringing like boyfriends into it and stuff like that, I think it like becomes almost like a little bit too much. Just like too much, like let's just focus on the game or.
Yeah, exactly. Like taunt the players for the mistake they made, not what their personal and like relationship life looks like.
No, I think it's just weird.
Yeah.
You went out of your way to find the accounts, you know, kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised that like student sections haven't gotten in trouble for this. Like, I'm not trying to call out any other student sections, but the UNI volleyball student section, well, shoot, call them out. Like, I remember going to one of their games against Bradley, and like everyone in the front 2 rows, a bunch of basically freshman and sophomore dudes, like were just looking at the roster and like looking up Instagrams the entire game. I'm like, this is not okay.
Like, just watch the game.
Exactly.
Like, really?
Like,
I don't know.
There's plenty of opportunities to like not harass, but like make fun of them for them making a mistake rather than, oh, you're single, why are you single? Like, it's like it's not embarrassing, but like I don't know.
Especially for like a goalie, if like I think it's hard to focus, like especially they can't really move around a lot, like they're kind of stuck. So if someone's directly behind them the whole time, like they can't move. So it's kind of like worse for them, and like being able to focus, and then you know, goalie's a huge position too. So with Brittany, I'm sure that was annoying.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I just hope that. Yeah, from my understanding, like I feel like UNI does a really good job of that, because I remember not first home game, the second home game last year, we had an issue with that with a bunch of like freshmen, like basically hitting on the South Dakota players and like, and the admins went over to talk to them, being like, hey, why this isn't okay, and I ended up talking to someone somewhere amongst the athletic office because we ended up actually getting in trouble for it, and and I was like telling them specific people who we were and all that, and so, and then after that game, like, we never had an issue because like those people were not kicked out, just strongly suggested never to come back. And then 2 weeks later I find them at volleyball games doing the same exact thing. So it's like I don't know. Like, I feel like college-age students should be mature enough to realize, like, going to a sporting event, you're there for the game. You're there to support your classmates. You're not there to basically find, I don't know, a date. Like, that's just, there are apps for that. Like, I don't.
It's like a respect thing, too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't, well, never mind. Pep band members are different. I've seen pep band members hit on the men's basketball team. Like, Belmont comes to mind.
That's funny.
Well, the one player egged it on. It was kind of. But shoot, where was I going with that? But like I said, like, you don't really see it at men's sports. You don't see like the student section, being like, "Hey, yo, 46 linebacker, what's your number?" Like,
no,
never.
Girls, no.
Yeah, but
definitely different there, but it's all right. I guess that doesn't happen too much anymore this year, at least so far.
It won't happen at you and I promise that. And if it does, Spencer and I will take care of it. Yeah. It's, like I said, it's been a problem in the past, but like, at least we know the people that cause it, and we like make sure they never come back, because
easy to catch them.
Yeah, exactly. Probably. Well, with so many, like, that was a nice thing about the turbo game this year, because like there's so many of us.
There was,
but none of them were like crossing the line. It was the perfect student section. Everyone was super loud. Maybe not perfect, because a lot of them left at halftime. But everyone expected that, because first of all, it's 180 out.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
And second of all, we won that game like 9-0.
I know, yeah.
Like, after like the 6th goal, we cut it down to like 30 of us, and by the end it was like 12 of us, but we were still loud to the end. So like,
I mean, it makes sense. Well, especially on that right before school starting too. I was like, I'm surprised everyone's out here.
I mean, the free scarf giveaway helped a little bit.
Yeah, those were cool. You guys did that. It's awesome.
We shouldn't deserve the credit for it. It was set up by the university, technically.
I didn't know that.
Like, the box even says ordered, shipped to Bruce Erickson. So
that's funny.
So technically, we didn't run it at all. It was just part of. We just promoted it as soon as we found out about it. Like, oh, we're getting scarves, and we get to pick them up and hand them out ourselves. Perfect.
Perfect.
It's our promotion.
People like free stuff, so especially college kids.
Yeah, that's how Panther Soccer Prowlers got theirs started. Free scarves, first ever game, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
This is our 3rd year running the org, so running the org.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to learning more about you, Megan. Yeah. So during my time of research, looking up like just information about you, I found out that you played futsal. When growing up back in, I'm assuming, high school. So how did you get into futsal? Like, is it
kind of a random thing, with like, if people don't know, it's like tile floors and smaller field, obviously, but what is it? I forget, 4 or 5 on the field?
5v5, and then 6v6, I think, if goalkeepers, but
I don't know. So pretty much my club team in high school, Caitlin Richards was also on the same team with me.
Because you guys played for the soccer teams in Chicago?
Okay. Yeah. Once a week they'd take us to a futsal court and like have us just play futsal, and like it's supposed to like help your touch a lot and technical, just because it's so much smaller. So like that's kind of got me going, and then we like actually made like a really good team out of it, and like we actually won like a national championship for it, but it was like in Kansas City, and that was super cool. That was like I think I might have been like in 8th grade, but yeah, I've always enjoyed doing it. I still do. If we had a futsal court, but in the future, like I'm sure there'd be like women's leagues or just like pickup games. That'd be really fun for me. I don't know what it is about it. I think just like since I'm a center back, like obviously we can't like attack as much, but like in futsal, like you can, because like there's only so many of you out there. So like on corners, like we all go in or things like that. So I love it. Yeah, definitely not as much running either. So you're not as gassed like if you make a full like court run. Like definitely do that a lot. So that was really fun.
So you don't need to be drinking 3 charged
No.
energy drinks before the game?
I'd be fine with like probably just water, bubbler, maybe just one coffee.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Like, so
Yeah.
how did it help with your development to becoming the D1 soccer player you are today?
I feel like for me personally, futsal was probably helped me the most within like my first touch, like you said. Like that helps a lot, like technical wise. Also just like short, quick passes. Like since the pressure is so quickly on you, just like decision making quickly. So yeah, I think that really helped me like long term, especially just getting the more touches on the ball. Like especially being a center back, you don't get a ton of touches maybe like in a practice or like a full field game, like scrimmage. But futsal, you're definitely on the ball a lot, having to do like moves and the freedom to do it too. So that did help me a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Plus with like a smaller,
Yeah.
it's the size of a basketball court, I believe, correct? I think.
That's like half of one. Yeah, it's small.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Yikes. So, wow, even entire
Yeah, it's tight.
space where.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really have to be careful with your touches and like,
Mhm.
you can't do, I love how Olivia Kneffley did this in the Viterbo game, but you can't make those like big touches where like you can like touch the ball and it goes like super far out so you can sprint to it and have a running start to make a play. Like you can't do that. And so who knows, maybe it will grow into I was gonna say into a college sport, but no.
Yeah. I think it's probably will be getting like bigger in high schools though.
Oh, 100%.
Middle schools even.
Because like, I remember playing scrimmages like that in high school, and I don't know, I always loved it because I don't know, I was always a midfielder. But
on the ball a lot probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Shooting.
And you have to like really be careful with your passes, and like your teammates are like, like you said, it's a smaller court, a lot more running, so your teammates are making more runs and stuff like that. So all right.
100%.
So now it's time for the podcast, where I like to call it the Jaylee Hicklin special, where in Jaylee's and Caroline's episode, Jaylee entered the podcast where she just rapid fire asked Caroline questions. I hope you're okay if I do the same for you.
For sure.
So where are you from?
Naperville, Illinois.
Oh, that's like right outside Chicago, isn't it?
30 minutes, yeah.
Makes sense. You played for the Sockers.
Yeah.
So what made you choose UNI?
I like purple a lot. The distance from home was really good. I wanted to go out of state.
You like purple. That's a great answer. Did you have any other like offers like?
Yeah, I did. I could have gone to Southern, actually, and then I was like talking to Loyola a lot.
You were talking to Loyola? Oh.
Well, Barry Bibby like knew my coach really well, my club coach, like their ex-head coach.
Yeah. Because Loyola was.
It's a hard school though. I don't know.
Oh, academically.
If I would have gotten their business school or not, but.
What's your favorite part about going to UNI?
I love Cedar Falls. Like that's probably the best thing about it. I just love the town. Everyone like loves the sports too. I feel like it's a college town, like a true college town. And like with no pro sports in Iowa, I feel like everyone like supports the colleges like a lot.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, hopefully we grow the UNI soccer fan base this year.
Yeah.
We're off to a great start. I mean, it helps that you
yeah.
guys won 9-0 and beat St. Thomas.
Yeah.
But what else to ask? Oh, who's your like favorite teammate to play with?
Ooh, I don't know. Well, in the defense, probably Caitlin. Just because we play a lot together back there, newer since junior year. So, yeah, probably Caitlin Richards.
You want to call her out to try and get her onto the podcast for a future episode?
Yeah, I really want Caitlin to do her next one. We call her Caitley. I think she'd like actually enjoy this. So.
That's fair. Plus, pick the brain of a goalkeeper, see what goes through their mind. And
honestly, that'd be cool. Just to see what she says.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She's scary back
She's a character.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's scary back. She's very vocal back there.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, no, I think that's the cool thing about playing goalkeeper is that you have a full view of the field.
Yeah.
So you can communicate with your teammates pretty well, and like if your teammates like you, they'll actually listen. And
right. And she can, obviously dictates a lot of things too. with just like punts or whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
For a goalkeeper, her ball control is like really good.
Yeah.
Like I feel like her passes are like really crisp. Like she reminds me of I almost said David De Gea, but that's completely wrong because his ball control is terrible. I can't think of the goalkeeper's name anymore. Oh well, but
yeah.
No, I don't know.
Hopefully she'd want to do this. I hope she would.
I hope so too.
I bet she would. She likes to talk.
Yeah, that's
She's a big
fair.
talker.
No, but I don't know. Anything else you want to say for the podcast? Any questions for the Panther Soccer Prowlers or anything you're looking forward to this coming season?
Yeah, well, senior year, so this is my last go around. It's like happy but sad with soccer ending. Finally hanging up the cleats, which is crazy after doing it my whole life. So it's.
Well, you're gonna make the NWSL though,
yeah.
right? You know, Portland Thorns. They better be calling up.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
No.
But yeah, looking forward to senior year.
Yeah, no. And I feel like just talking to some of your teammates, like a lot of them, especially the younger players, just look up to you. Like I've heard a lot of good things about your work ethic and just your character towards the team. Like you're good. I don't know. From what I've heard, like you're easy to talk to. So like I've heard Macy Smith say so many good things about you, and I'm like,
Macy.
Yeah. So yeah, another person we're calling out, but no, I appreciate your time.
Of course.
This was a lot of fun, and I guess now we gotta get Caitlin Richards on the.
Oh yeah, Caitlin's up next. Well, thanks for having me.
And thanks for being a part of it.
Of course.
Wow, we're on episode 12.
Yeah.
We haven't even recorded episode 11 yet.
Oh, really?
We're waiting until after the Southern Utah game, which sucks because we're not going to.
Yeah.
10 a.m. kickoff.
That's crazy. Kind of glad though.
It is. No, thanks again for taking the time,
of
especially on the
course.
first day of class. Like, who knows what your schedule looks like. So yeah, it means a lot, and hopefully we can get Caitlin. Well, we already mentioned that. I'm repeating myself.
It's okay.
Tune in next time for episode 13. We're hopefully 5-0.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now I'm just quickly doing the math because we have 2 games this week, and then I think a game that Tuesday against St. Ambrose.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5-0.
Oh yeah.
A lot of players have promised me an undefeated season this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm right there with them then.
All right. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Cut the camera.